let's look at the prompt here. Based on the text, how would text 2 respond to text 1? So let's look at text 1. Africa's Sahara region began to dry out 8,000 years ago. A change in Earth's orbit that affected climate has been posited as a cause of the desertification. But this person also attributes the shift to Neolithic peoples. He cites their adoption of pastoralism as a factor in the region drying out. In other words, the pastoralist livestock depleted the vegetation, prompting the events that created the Sahara Desert. So there's an admission here that a change in the Earth's orbit affected the climate, and that is a cause of the Sahara turning into a desert. But this archaeologist also says that the people at that time had livestock, and that depleted the vegetation, prompting the creation of a desert. So the animals that the people kept dried out the area and turned it into a desert. So looking at text 2, this research challenges the idea that the Neolithic people contributed to the Sahara's desertification. Using a certain model, they concluded that the end of the humid period occurred 500 years earlier than previously assumed. The timing suggests that Neolithic people didn't exacerbate the aridity, but in fact may have helped delay the environmental changes with certain practices like selective grazing that preserve the vegetation. So this one is challenging the idea that the people contributed to the conversion into a desert. They concluded that the end of the humid period occurred 500 years earlier, and that suggests that the people didn't exacerbate the problem, they didn't make it worse, but in fact, maybe they helped delay it with their practices of selective grazing that preserved the vegetation. So not only did they not turn it into a desert, but the people were possibly a force in delaying the area from turning into a desert as early as it could have. So let's look at the answers now. The answer that matches what we're saying is answer choice A here, that text 2 would point out that given the revised timeline, that's the idea that it occurred 500 years earlier. For the end of the Sahara's humid period, the people's mode of subsistence likely didn't cause the desertification. In fact, they may have actually helped delay it. So, answer choice A is exactly what text 2 says.